It's a cold and foggy morning walk. And I guess I have a lot on my mind. So Chris had a doctor's appointment yesterday with her normal monthly with her oncologist. Her monthly routine is usually we go in, she gets labs done, she goes in to see the doctor, we talk about the labs, anything new, any changes. Usually things have been good, and then we go off to either to get her infusion and her shot or just her shot. But since the hysterectomy, she's supposed to not have the shot. The shot is called Lupron, and it's to help stop the growth of her estrogen. And since we took her ovaries, that's, not the only gland, but it is the primary estrogen making gland. So we've had like the OBGYN oncologist say, oh yeah, you don't have to take this after that. And we've had another doctor in the cancer center that we've seen because our normal doctor was out. And even he said, oh yeah, this is not necessary now. So last month when we saw that doctor, he canceled everything for this month. And even the blood work that's attached to that shot. So then when we go and see the doctor yesterday, our normal doctor, he was like, no, we're not canceling the shot yet. I want to see how your hormone levels continue to drop after the ovaries. So luckily our nurse was able to get, the blood work attached to the labs that she had already done. So she didn't have to do any extra labs or come in extra. Because our cancer center is over an hour away from us. At least that got done. She still didn't get the shot because it was canceled, so nothing was pre-authorized, so nothing was ready, nothing, You can't just be like, oh yeah, let's get this shot. So that was kind of frustrating. I mean, not that the shot is a huge deal. It's one shot in her butt, once a month. Attached to it has quite a few side effects, She gets a lot of bone pain from her bone meds, but also partly because of the meds that help kind of keep it all together, and keep it all gone. It gives you this dull ache. And she hasn't had that in this last month, and that's been nice. It's often kind of telling on her here. But I guess from my perspective as her spouse and caregiver, these are the things I get to see, She's living through them as she shifts in the night because a lot of her bone mets are in her hips and her femur. Laying down or sitting for too long is very painful for her. So in the night, it is quite often, as she tries to shift, she's moaning and groaning and in pain as she tries to move. But this last month has been a little less of that. But I'm thankful she's not in so much pain anymore. And she's not waking up in the middle of the night. It may not sound like a lot, but every night. Come on, every night. Just think every night. I mean, menopausal women already have to get up like 3 or 4 times to go to the bathroom or because they're sweating. Now she's sweating and in pain and, we'll get the call hopefully this next week on whether we have to really continue that shot. Here's another thing that's been on my mind as we were sitting there at the doctor's appointment. There's a woman in Tampa that has been cured of her stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. She had 4B, so she even had it in organs. But she's considered cured, not just no evidence of active disease. Cured through stem cell transplant. And it's like a vaccine stem cell program. I'm going to look deeper into it because it's definitely making me think. But quick look, as it looks like it's really targeted for HER2 positive patients. Crystal is HER2 negative, which makes things always a little trickier. Is it the gene mutation that makes her cancer a little more complicated with the HER2 negative part? Because a lot of these amazing immunotherapies really are targeted for HER2 positive people. But it's really an interesting study. If you guys didn't hear about it, it's out of Moffitt in Tampa. And she's been a year. And that's amazing. It really is amazing. And I hope that can apply for more stage 4 MBCs, because we're really kind of left out in the, you're really kind of left out in the dust in that. But yeah, definitely if you are a HER2 positive person, please, or any breast cancer, look up this research out of Moffitt. It's amazing. I'll be doing some more digging just in case. And you know, it's kind of crazy, not to get into anyone's business, but if you're following along on TikToks, or we follow Plasmablastic Boy, I'll tag him down here, 333. He is actually Crystal's uncle, and follow his journey. He has an amazing journey going on. He's been through it, and now he is also going through this amazing stem cell immunotherapy situation that he's documenting on his journey, and his type of cancer is lymphoma. So, but I've always thought what was interesting, especially with these two, they're so alike in many, many ways, and then to both of them to get cancer around the same time, two totally different cancers. It's such a surreal kind of experience to have in a family. But it would be a cool experience to find her to be able to have an immunotherapy kind of process to expand her lifespan. Because the reality with metastatic breast cancer is, and really it's just because this is how far the research goes, but on average, 2 to 5 years. 7 years if you're pushing it. Chris is very, very healthy. In her groups, she's met people who are 20, 22, 25 years in. So I don't necessarily, I'm not necessarily relying on the 2 to 5 years. It's there in my head, but I'm focusing on us as a future, as us 20 years in. We are an age gap couple. If you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit older than Chris, which adds another layer of to this whole situation. Like these things, I expect these diagnoses for myself. I'm in my 50s now, and why would she have this diagnosis? Well, the truth is she has a genetic condition. Our current recommended preventative steps are not finding these things. They're not finding. I found her lump, not a mammogram. She was years from a mammogram at that point. She had no major family markers that would have connected. Even the geneticist was like, you don't have a family history that I would necessarily consider having a genetic mutation. She didn't have an extensive breast cancer family history. But when her genetic testing came back, it all came back as, had she started mammograms in her 20s, we probably could have caught this. But no one's doing mammograms in their 20s. No one. I shouldn't say no one. People have very dense, family history do. And unfortunately, it's just a small amount of cancer patients. Statistics are crazy pants, like crazy pants. And the more we research and learn, the sooner we can get out ahead of this. I hear a lot of people who claim, oh, well, they have the cure for cancer. They do. There's stage 1 through 3 breast cancer tends to get cured. You're gonna go through a journey with it, but you're coming out cancer free. Stage 4 traditionally is not, but hopefully that study is really promising. That woman is really promising, and I really hope she has a very, very long life with her babies and her family. Absolutely cancer free. I would love that for Crystal. If you've read the research, let me know what you think. Yay, cancer journey. Oh, time to get stuff done. Till next time.